Hi, this is Barnaby Dillon. I'm going to show you how to use quiz assignments in EDU 2.0. You can use them as alternatives to homework assignments, and then EDU grades them for you and puts them right in your gradebook. You can also use them for chapter or unit tests without allowing the students to cheat, and I'll tell you how to do that. So you click on assignments and you add a new assignment, and then you click on quiz. And then we're going to title it. So I'll just say quiz. You pick the category of points it goes in and press save. So now that you have the quiz, you need to either add questions or use a question bank. I would highly recommend you use a question bank because then you can put more than a certain number of questions and have it choose only those 5, or if you make like 20 questions, you can have it only choose 5 of them, so that students will get a slightly different quiz from each other, and that just helps with independent thinking and not just copying each other. So I'm going to say use a question bank and add a new question bank. So I'll title this the same as before. It always wants you to have a description, so I just use my last name. And then so you can find it quickly, it is helpful to put the subject. So I'll put chemistry. I leave it on personal usually, unless I want to share it with someone, because if you share it with someone else, then they can change it, and then your quiz winds up changing. So that's kind of a bug right now. That's in the works to get fixed, hopefully. So then your question bank is right here. It says questions are selected from, and then the name of the question bank. So I'm going to go ahead and open that one and add questions. So there's lots of kinds of questions. If you have paper versions of a test that you're converting to electronic to save yourself some grading time, then just choose the one that matches the type you have, like multiple choice. People have lots of those. Where one answer is correct, 2 are false, and matching. So multiple choice is obvious. Let me tell you about 2 other ones I use most frequently. Fill in the blanks is great for shorter answers. I actually use it for naming chemicals and writing the formulas of chemicals. You can use it for anything as long as it's not a super open-ended question. You have to type in all the possible correct answers, so if there's 50 different things the students might say, it's probably not worth it. But if there's just 5 things the students might say, then it's worth it. And then free form is for more open-ended things where the computer won't grade it for you, and you look at each answer and give it a point value. So now I'll show you some examples of questions I've made. So this is a question bank that I've made. There's multiple choice questions. I'll show you an example of that. So it says name N2O4, and the correct answer is dinitrogen tetraoxide. And I'll show you, you can set it so it mixes up the answer choices when the students see it. Now I'll show you an example of what I do for a short answer. So for example, name FeNO3, and then it has 3 blanks, blank, blank, blank. And then you type, the students don't see the correct answers in the blank. In fact, I'll show you, when you're typing it, you do it like this. You say the question, and then you say blank for each place that you want it to put a little bit line. And then these are, down here, are the answers. So I want the students to say iron, parentheses, 3, in Roman numerals, and then nitrate. And I actually don't want them to say anything else, so those are the only answers. If I was okay with the kids saying other things, then I would put a comma and then type an alternative answer. Like that compound could also be ferric nitrate. And then the last kind I use is freeform for more open-ended problems. So this one says explain in words how you would solve the following problem, but do not solve it. So the students would type their procedure for solving a problem, and every student's going to have a little bit different answer, so I'll grade that one myself and assign a point value. That one, it just shows a text box for students to type in. So the way you use question bank, since I have actually 30 questions on that test, I don't want every student to take 30 questions. So I say select 15 questions each time the test is taken. And then each student will get 15 of those, and it'll be random. So every student's a little bit different. I do that because I have the students take the test during class. They're sitting right next to each other, so if they're looking at each other's screens out of the corner of their eyes, it's really not going to help them much. So let me show you how to set the options. So in the options, the most important thing is probably the begin and end date. If you want students to do this as a homework assignment, then you would set it to start the day it was assigned and to be due at a certain time, like midnight or something like that. If you want the students to be able to go back and take it as many times as they need to until they get a good score on it, then you can leave it open for longer than that, and you can set the maximum number of attempts there. The thing that might not be obvious is how to use it for an in-class test. So if you want to take the students to a computer lab or something. So I gave this test today. So I set it to start at Friday, November 16th at the start of the period and to end at the end of the period. And I say maximum attempts 1. It is also helpful if you want to prevent cheating to select yes for timed and to set a time limit on it. That'll push most students a little bit. And then here's where you select randomize the question order. And it's also helpful if you want the students to have a chance to take the test again, is you say don't show them the question and the results. Just show them what they said and their score. So they can kind of remember the questions and know what to study if they need to take the test again, but they won't know the exact answer unless they're pretty photographic. Okay, we're back in that sample quiz I made. Let me show you what to do if a student is gone and you need just them to be able to take it after the due date, but you don't want everybody to be able to go back and resubmit. So what you do is you click on show grade like that, and then you click allow late submissions. And now just that student can submit it late, but they can still only do it one time or however many times you pick. And that's all I have to show you. If you have any questions, you can email me or you can comment on the tech site.